If you were to see a real wormhole one day, it would most likely look round, like a sphere. It would resemble a black hole, but unlike one, you would also be able to see the light coming from another world through it, almost like a hidden gateway opening to any place in the universe. Now imagine that you step into it. The world you leave behind turns into a tiny glowing sphere. It sounds just like a science fiction movie, right? But here's the really interesting part. Wormholes are not as fictional as you might think. At least on paper they seem quite possible. But are they really out there? Or are they just an illusion created by physics and mathematics? For a very long time, humanity saw space as a large, fixed stage, filled with stars, planets, and various lights. Everything happened on that stage, and no one really thought there could be more to it. But then Einstein came along and said, actually, the stage itself is changing. Space and time move together, but they are not separate things. And this structure is not as rigid as we once thought. It is much more flexible, more like a giant sheet. When you place something on it, it bends and changes shape. And if this structure can bend enough, perhaps a shortcut between two distant points can be created. This is exactly where the idea of a wormhole comes from, connecting two different regions of the universe with an unimaginably short tunnel. So theoretically, this would mean that traveling from one end of the galaxy to the other in less than a second could be possible. But for now, we only see these tunnels in equations. General relativity says that they could be possible. But just because something is possible doesn't always mean it exists. Mathematics tells us a lot, but it is not always reality. Still, according to what some scientists believe, there's a high probability that such tunnels may have formed in the very early moments of the universe, right after the Big Bang, and perhaps they're still hiding somewhere in space. From the outside, a wormhole could look just like a black hole. That's why some even think that the massive black holes at the centers of galaxies might actually be wormholes. Of course, going there and checking it out isn't exactly possible right now, but theoretically, there is another option. What if we tried to make one ourselves? The problem is that wormholes don't want to stay open on their own. They try to close. To keep them open, we would need a special kind of substance that doesn't resemble anything we know. Something called exotic matter, a type of matter with negative mass, repulsive in nature, basically a kind of anti-gravity. If humanity could somehow control something like this, maybe we could shape space-time however we want. And one day we might even build a network of wormholes connecting Earth to different points in the universe. Imagine taking a single step and ending up on another planet. Not traveling to another city to visit your grandmother for the weekend, but to another planet instead. It sounds crazy, but theoretically it's possible. Of course, there's also a darker side. Wormholes could lead to paradoxes we don't even want to imagine, such as time travel. Maybe that's why some scientists think they can never actually exist. So for now, wormholes remain a secret of the universe, a possibility, a dream. But who knows? Maybe one day, somewhere, we will really encounter one. By the way, have you ever wondered what would happen if we dropped the most powerful nuclear bomb ever made into the Mariana Trench, the deepest point on Earth? If so, you can find my video about it in the top right corner. See you soon. For now, goodbye.